Have you ever been criticized for something you both love doing and also think you're good at? I have, and it sucks. And it almost made me quit photography, and it's prevented me from sharing my work for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been on a mission to try to overcome that and have been slowly sharing some of my work here on this channel. But to be honest, I still struggle a bit with sharing my work on social media and in other places. Now, I think it's important to note that not all criticism is bad, and I actually think that I'm really good at taking criticism. I use it in my daily life to fuel myself to work harder and to be better at my job and to be better in my family life, and also to be better at the sports that I enjoy, like mountain biking and running and swimming. But for some reason, having someone criticize my photography to my face really affected me, and it left me feeling like a fraud and an imposter. It made me feel like that I really wasn't good at photography, that I should just quit. And this was different than just a critique in a photo club or that you would get in a photography class, which I actually really love those. I've really enjoyed getting the feedback from my peers and others who have more experience than I do in photography. About 10 years ago, as I felt like I was really finding my groove as a photographer, I followed the advice of a lot of people online, and I'm sure it's advice that you've probably seen before, to reach out to your friends to practice portrait photography or family photography or some other genre that you're interested in. And I was really enjoying photographing people. I felt like I was improving, and maybe I could start a side hustle as a photographer, maybe specializing in family or weddings. So I did. I talked to some friends, and they said that I could do a family photography session with them. I just asked that they cover the cost of my film, but otherwise I wouldn't charge them for anything, and that this would be good practice for me, and hopefully that I would be able to do them a favor in having some good family pictures. So we did a family photography session. I thought it went great. I got some really great pictures of them and their kids out on the beach in Hawaii where I lived at the time. I went over to their house to deliver a CD, and yes, this was a long time ago, so everything was on CDs. And one of their parents was visiting, so they wanted to pop in the CD and take a look at it together. I was happy to share that moment with them, but after looking at some of the pictures, their mom said, "Well, these aren't very good, are they? And I hope that you didn't pay a lot for these." And my friends sided with their mom, and they said that the pictures were mediocre, they weren't that happy with them, and they reluctantly paid me for the cost of my film. And I quickly turned around and left, and I felt utterly and completely defeated. I felt like a complete failure, and it still haunts me today. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I've never really pursued photography professionally. It's made me not want to photograph people or other things for money. And so in the past 10 years since that time, I've continued to practice photography, but I've focused more on personal projects, which maybe has been the best thing for me. I've continued to grow as a photographer by focusing on things that I wanted to photograph, but I've still rarely shared my work. So over the past 10 years, I've learned a lot about criticism, especially as a photographer. And so, there's some things that I recommend for overcoming criticism. The first thing is, don't give too much weight to what other people think. If you receive criticism, use it as an opportunity to reflect and see where it's coming from. Use it as an opportunity to grow. Does it have any merit? Does the person giving criticism have any expertise you can learn from by being open to receiving that criticism? If so, use it to grow and be better. If not, move on. Don't care about what other people think. In the case of my friends, their mom had absolutely no authority on the subject of photography, and when I look back at the pictures, even now, that I took of them, I think that they're good. And I know that they're good. And I feel like if I had someone take pictures of me and my kids like those, I would have been thrilled to have those. And I don't have any really good family pictures of me and my kids when we lived in Hawaii, and I would have loved that. What does this mean for me now? It's completely changed my trajectory as a photographer. It's made me realize that I don't want to make pictures for other people. I want to make pictures for me. I want to work on projects I want to do. And one of the long-term projects that I've been working on over the past few years is documenting people in and around ice. And so I want to take you along with me as I document some ice climbing in Minnesota as part of this ongoing project. and work on coming out of my shell and sharing some of my work with you. And hopefully by me sharing my work, that encourages you to share your own, and whatever pathway you prefer, whether that's social media, YouTube, in person. Maybe you'll get lucky enough to publish a book or have a gallery showing of your work. Those are all things that I aspire to do someday. And hopefully by continuing to practice and focus on things that I enjoy shooting, I'll be able to continue to develop as a photographer, and maybe I'll get there someday.
Okay, so today I'm in Sandstone, Minnesota, documenting some ice climbers on these ice walls. In terms of safety, I got my helmet. With ice climbing, there's a lot of things that can fall from the ice walls, especially as the ice climbers are going up with their ice picks and crampons on their boots.
I was in a really unique location in Minnesota in an old quarry where they basically irrigate the walls of this quarry with water in the wintertime using sprinklers and shower heads and other things to build or farm ice, as they call it, and create these ice climbing walls. I got to be around some really great climbers, including some really legendary ice climbers that have been ice climbing since the 1970s. And seeing their passion for the sport and helping newcomers really get involved in ice climbing and to learn and grow themselves was really great to see. I really love taking portraits, and so that was one of the focuses that I wanted with this trip, was taking some really great portraits of some of the ice climbers. I progressed with taking pictures of them throughout the day, and then as it started to transition into night, some of the ice climbers used headlamps on their helmets to continue climbing into the dark. And this led to some really unique pictures where the headlamps that they were wearing actually illuminated the ice, kind of shone through the ice, and so the ice really almost looked like it was glowing around them, which I felt like just made some really unique pictures. Was something that I was not expecting, but I really loved capturing and felt like I got some really great photographs of some of the climbers as they were scaling some of these ice walls in the dark. So overall, it was a really great experience. I enjoyed my time in Minnesota capturing some of the ice climbers. I hope you enjoyed following along with this project that I've been working on, and I hope that you'll never let other people's criticism of your work prevent you from continuing to invest in yourself and your own personal projects and the things that you enjoy doing. If you enjoy doing photography, if you love it, and others have things to share about your work, don't take it too seriously. Find those opportunities that you can use that criticism or those comments to grow and to improve yourself as a photographer, but don't let it get you down. Don't let it prevent you from continuing to engage in that and continuing to share your work. I'm trying to be better about that and overcome the negative comments that I've received in the past, and I've really enjoyed sharing some of my work with you. I hope that you'll continue to follow along with my work and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you on the next one.